but the field trips are gonna
Yeah,
start
I
coming
guess.
in.
Okay,
Oh.
great,
Yeah.
thanks.
I was like trying to think, what meeting am I at? Of the DDA.
Good. Sure the mic's on?
Did Hosted Access ever change hands? Did
They're in the works, transferring licenses,
Okay.
things like that, yep. Yeah, and met with Pat yesterday and had a good conversation with him on his next steps. Because they'll have to go through the same process.
So I think lightning rounds and,
Lightning rounds and wood chips, but not using grease.
Is he gonna take ownership of the buildings? Does he own the buildings and the Airbnbs?
It sounds like wood chips would be a total sale.
Okay.
This is for you.
Good morning, Catherine.
Morning, how are you?
Good.
that's, which is,
You wanna sit up there? I don't know, huh?
She's not on the executive committee anymore.
You're one of us proletariats now.
That's right, that's right. I have them. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, you have a quorum.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order.
Good job.
Thanks. Kim and Dana, do we have roll?
We do.
Okay. Jason, come on up to the
We have
table.
to
We're
sit
doing a
there.
new format. Come on up. Approval of the agenda. We have a motion on that.
so moved.
By Tim.
Second.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Public comments, anybody? Okay.
You didn't vote.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, thank you. Do we have a vote on that? The approval of the minutes?
All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye. Okay, thanks. Okay, public comments. Seeing none, we will move on. Consent agenda,
I'll move the consent agenda.
Support.
okay? Dana, did you get all of that? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
vote again.
Yes, can we vote on that, please? All opposed? All in favor, sorry guys, it's my first.
Aye.
Good morning, Megan.
Then you would say all
Opposed? All opposed? Okay, passes. Executive committee meeting. We have started working on numbers for the budget. We're not completely done yet. We are waiting on a few different things. One of the things in question is Jim's salary and if it is appropriate with salaries for his kind of job description throughout the state. So we are waiting on a few things and waiting on some things from the city. Executive committee, could we set a date to discuss those things? A date to discuss Jim's salary without Jim and a date to, just for our normal monthly meeting.
2 different days.
2 different dates,
Or at least
yes.
2 different times. It could be
Yeah,
the same
it could be the same day.
day.
Our next meeting of the DDA will be the 25th of March, so before then.
I'm pretty flexible.
Are there days and times that are better for you?
Mornings.
Mornings? And Tim,
Morning, I guess.
mornings are good? How soon do we need to have this by, do you think?
Well, we'd want it included on the agenda for the March meeting to have the draft on it. I'll send it out with the packet on the 19th. So if we could, like, one of the first 2 weeks, either the first week of March or the second week of March.
Okay.
Um,
March 2nd or March 9th? I was wondering about those. I could do mornings either of those times. What about you guys?
The second.
Okay.
I have nothing till 10.
8 o'clock?
Be great.
Okay, Tim, does that work for you?
Second,
Yes, at 8.
okay. No, perfect, but
Madam Chair, can I ask, how long has he had the current salary at this range?
Would you like to speak into that, Jim?
My current contract would be up June 30th, and it was a 2-year contract.
One of the questions we've been asking is if it is comparable to other people who do the same job in the state, and you are finding,
So I've got the MDA, Michigan Downtown Association, did a salary and wage survey in 2024. They also did one in 23, and then Michigan Main Street did one as well. So I've been able to look at that and compare by region. So we're Region 6, which is the Thumb region plus Genesee County and Shiawassee County. And then I also compared it by population, and then I've also compared it by budget. All 3 scenarios, I'm below average in salary, but I am the second longest serving DDA director in the region. So things to keep in mind, but I'll send it all out, because there's other things to look at too, like there's benefits and stipends and things like that to look at and consider as well.
And wasn't the last contract, we extended it to 2 years versus 1? Which I thought was a good move, but I still think 2 years is a short window, like, doesn't
Right.
give you a lot of road in front of you, like, oh, it's only 2 years, but I don't know, I think we should, if we're happy with Jim's, or maybe think about a longer term, 5 years.
Okay.
One thing you can negotiate.
Does that close the door to like increase in wage or anything?
No, you can leave like annual economic, like reopen, you can reopen the
Okay.
contract to negotiate for their salaries, but.
Okay, and is there anything that we don't offer, or is there something that we offer that necessarily you don't value, or you prefer something else when we're going into?
I mean, I would never say no to like a retirement plan of some kind. Because I do not have one currently other than what I do myself.
Okay.
do other communities offer retirement plans?
Most.
Okay.
I should add the caveat that most that took part in the survey, because obviously the survey is not exhaustive, it's based on whoever responds. So,
Okay.
which is made up of about 47 responses for the MDA one.
Okay. So the retirement plan would not be part of their salaries, it would be theirs, they have a higher salary and they get retirement? How does that look?
That I don't know. It
Okay.
doesn't dive into that. much
Doesn't break it down, okay. So that would maybe be something that we would need to research, okay. And with a February 2nd date for a meeting, that would give us some time to research, yeah, I'm sorry, thank you, March,
That's
yeah. That would give us some time to research, meet again if we needed to after the research, and then still get things on the minutes, correct? Okay. Executive committee, are there other things that I am missing that we have been discussing or have discussed?
I would just add a couple things in regards to the budget. So the plan is to have the draft budget to you guys for the March meeting. We did meet once to kind of go through everything and look at what we had based on the numbers we have, but I did have a good conversation with the city yesterday. And one thing to keep in mind is when it comes to like contributions to the city, especially like parking fund and parks department, things like snow removal and maintenance, we have not increased what we've contributed for several years. That's been level, but the costs to maintain have gone up. This year was an exceptionally high year too, like to the point where it was getting difficult to get salt and maintain the sidewalk and snow removal. So anticipated increase in those areas than what we're giving to the city.
Does the city determine that, or do we,
We'll work together.
in our large, yes?
We'll work
decide?
together on it based on, what our
Okay.
budget is, yeah.
And our portion of the parking lot renovation, is that part of the budget that will be submitted, or how does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that'll be included in our budget also.
Okay.
As a separate line item or part of the? I mean,
It would
we could go
be-
the contributions to city,
Yeah,
or
it'd be under the
contributions to street fund or something like that. I
Okay.
just don't know if it would be carved out so you could tell what that particular item was.
I think it will be.
Okay.
It was in the past when we had the Clay Street project.
It would be like contribution to major streets or
Okay.
something like that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anything else from executive? All right, committee reports, outreach committee.
So actually, I thought that Jim put in his report a pretty good synopsis of what happened at our first meeting. Lee was nice enough, Lee Young was nice enough from Michigan Main Street to come to the meeting and sit in, and I thought it was a really good conversation. One of the things that we were to do between now and our next meeting, we're meeting actually the second Thursday of the month at 7:45 a.m. But before March 12th, we're gonna come up with a name for our annual giving plan. We've seen some other communities, one was Boyne City, I can't think of the other one, if it was Sheboygan, but basically that's gonna be an important part of kind of the marketing of it. And so we are coming up with that. We talked a little bit about what we wanted to do this year. I think we set a kind of a budget of 5,000 we thought we could actually raise. We're trying to be conservative because we're already kind of almost to really almost like the end of the first quarter of the year. So, and then we talked about some of the projects we'd like to do. One of those is what we talked about in a retreat, which is the building planter boxes in front of every single business downtown. And Buddy was nice enough to volunteer to do that. I know he's not here, but he really did volunteer to do all those boxes this year. So talked about that. We talked about either repairing the clock if we can to a point where it doesn't continue to like not work, because that's then the issue, that it gets fixed and then it goes bad again. So permanently fixing it or getting a new clock. Potentially, we talked about getting a really neat clock that could actually incorporate like a reader board, kind of like a Times Square concept for the square at the corner there. So I think there was one other thing we talked about, but I don't remember what it was. But just kind of starting out slow, trying to build on this giving plan and get it going. But I think that was the extent of the meeting. I don't know if I'm missing anything, let me know.
I would just add that Buddy did text me this morning, sorry I can't make it today, but he will have a model for the planter box for our next public
Nice.
placemaking.
I'm sure it'll be great, I'm sure it'll be great,
Yes.
very nice.
I think the other thing that I will mention is we're wanting to get a jump on this sooner rather than later. So we're putting a start date, a launch date of all this for May 1st.
Right, well, and the other thing I forgot about is we actually gone back, for those that have been on here for a while, we went back to our work plans. And basically and that was really due to, I think Lee helped us with that, but we have a whole list of tasks and we were trying to prioritize whether those would be this year, next year, or a different year. And that really kind of helped us focus on what we need to do this year and put, kind of, don't spread ourselves too thin, and then really prioritizing who is gonna be the lead on each of those projects. So that was the other thing we did, which was really
Yes.
helpful.
Megan?
May is gonna be the start date for the flower boxes and everything too.
I don't know about that, but for the fundraising initiative,
Okay.
and we're using See My Legacy to do a lot of that, correct?
Yep.
So that's just our goal, so that we can get things started. The summer season is so busy with events that we are wanting to not miss out on that time.
Well, doesn't it seem like May, that's far away, and we're looking like, oh,
We're gonna have to hustle if we're
Yeah.
going to
Before we
meet
know
that.
it.
yeah, like, oh, that's plenty of time, and then think about it.
But honestly, even if we get anything done, it's awesome.
More than we.
It's more than we've been doing, yeah. So, anything else from outreach? Okay. Business development.
We didn't meet this month. About 3/4 of the folks on the committee had scheduling conflicts. So other than Jim's 2 points in your packet, as far as downtown dollars goes, we've sold about $1,000 worth of those. $100 roughly was redeemed last month. That means that there was about $200 total that's been redeemed. Kintai has so far been the major recipient of those. So that's ongoing. And there's another round of Match on Main grants that opens in April and March. You told me April.
Oh, sorry. Opens in March, closes in April.
Oh, okay. Opens in March, closes in April. And I think everybody's pretty familiar with those Match on Main grants. It's a reimbursement match. And Lapeer has had 9 awards of those, which is far more than any other community in Michigan. So we might have a little bit going against us because we've been fortunate to get far more than anybody else. Other than that, Jim had a couple of points.
I think the main thing is, like we've talked about, this year, the focus, other than like that round of Match on Main, which we'll want to meet in March or early April to review the local applications, would be just this year was really about the messaging. So I've started working on some like graphics that we can roll out for that parking lot project and the Park Street project that highlights these are the areas to park. And kind of like, when we have them, we can include timeframes and things like that. But really, it's just a year of messaging. Get out there and support the businesses.
I have a quick question. On businesses opening, it says Grace and Butter Bakery fall opening. Is that still correct?
Oh, nope, that should
Okay.
actually be a spring,
Spring
late
opening.
spring opening.
Okay.
Yep. Their target is late April or May.
And then is Serenity Massage opening at the same time?
Same time frame,
Okay.
same building. Yep.
Yep, because they're like front and back side. I'm also going to mention, and it is in the notes, but on Wednesday, April 29th, from 9 to 4, we are doing a fire extinguisher check with the fire department and somebody that they have contracted with. So, you know, you're supposed to get your fire extinguisher checked every year. And this will allow you to save the service call. You will still have to pay for the actual extinguisher maintenance, whatever has to be done, but you save yourself $55 for the service call. So we are doing that, and that is going to be, you'll hear more about that later. It's at the
It
pavilion,
looks like it's
but
gonna be at the pavilion.
yeah, but you'll hear more, we'll be promoting that more. So April 29th, we are working with the fire department. So,
You just bring your fire extinguisher?
yep, yeah,
That's really cool.
it is,
Okay.
so.
Yeah. There's some stipulations, like it can't be one of the plastic fire extinguishers because those aren't serviceable.
Right.
Okay.
It has to be within a certain date range.
Like they come every year and redo them, we can bring those.
Yes,
Cool.
yeah.
Yep.
So April 29th. Anything else from business development?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Placemaking.
I was in there last month, sorry.
I was like looking around, who's on, oh, that's me.
Do you want to give the, if not, I can.
Yes, submissions for this year's Hometown Hero banner are now full. We don't have any more space for that. They were done by what, 11 that day?
11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
That was a crazy morning, that was awesome.
Yeah, thank you for volunteering in the office at that time. Let's see, what did we do?
The bike racks was the.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Conclusion or wrapping up projects.
Right,
for
working
last
on, still wrapping up the grant award that we got last time. So yeah, the bike racks we are going to be placing, and we would welcome suggestions from any bicyclists as to where you would see the greatest need to place bike racks. We're looking at one that is very vertical, but you can, it's also pretty, they're shockingly expensive. You can hang 4 bikes on it, and they'll be pretty useful. It's, the big ones with the covers and everything are lots of money, so we're gonna go low-key for starts, but if we have input from any bicyclists about where they would like to see them in the downtown area, we are open to suggestions. And we will be reaching out to Crank and Cycle and others in the community to, yeah, to get some ideas. So, okay, we already did outreach. Events committee.
The only thing we did so far this month is the chocolate walk, which is a huge success. Everybody had a lot of fun with that, a lot of families came out, the kids, all ages, a lot of new faces. And I ran out of chocolate pretty early. But then a lot of people are talking about Jim's office, it's nice to see the new office and the outlook on that. And then everything else was pretty much discussing upcoming events and the dates.
a long month. I just realized we haven't met a full board meeting since Chocolate Walk. Chocolate Walk I thought was really, really good. I'm sorry. So I'm just moving on in.
Yeah, you were in Jim's office.
Yeah, we were in Jim's office, and I think it was exactly kind of what we envisioned as far as it was casual, like, hey, welcome in, have a cup of coffee. Some people came in, sat with their kids for a minute, like, 'cause the kids were, you know.
Yeah.
We had people that came from, what was it, Clinton Township and Lexington. 'Cause they-
Owasso,
Huron, I
yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Ionia, I think I heard.
A lot of people from Port Huron.
Well, and
they're
shame
all-
on me, someone said, oh, where's the mural? And I said, oh, it's behind the pigs. She goes, I don't know where that is, I've never been here before. And I thought, what, you're coming down for a chocolate walk? And that's when she said, oh, you know, I saw online, I started following, I think the DDA page, and she's like, we had nothing to do, and we've been stuck in the house, and they made the hour drive, and they went to the businesses, they stopped back through on the way through, someone saw them taking pictures in front of, like, all our art stuff, so it was really, for an event that we're like, okay, we're gonna give it a try, I thought it was pretty low investment, and
It was 10 degrees too.
I know, so
Yeah.
cool
that too,
that
but the
day.
sun
It
was
was
out. The
frigid.
sun
Yes.
was out. Yeah, it was. I was very, very pleasantly surprised.
And
It
most
was another
places
one.
had their own little ideas to go along with their
Yeah.
theme or their, it was fun.
Yeah, I feel like it was
fun.
pretty low investment, low effort, and it
Yeah.
got people out. And it was, from the people we spoke with, it was a nice. They were happy.
Yeah.
They were happy.
You always do an analysis after every event, right?
So the boots on the ground, yeah, conversations. I had several businesses that said they definitely had an uptick in sales. They're not huge, but like coffee shops said they had about a 20% increase in sales during the event. I know Cherries was very happy with the turnout that they got. I know Essentials was as well. Morgan at MT Vintage was very happy. It seemed to, those were the types of businesses that seemed to do best with it. Restaurants, slight uptick, but
Not much.
not a huge one. You know, the main feedback, and honestly, it's not bad feedback, was that there wasn't enough free chocolate. But that also plays into, we need to get rid of that mindset
Yeah.
too, and move away from that mindset
Right.
that everything is free. You know, the idea is to support the businesses, spend money down here. So if that was your concern, well, that's okay, but we're
Yeah.
kind of transitioning away from that. So, yeah, we'll start talking about what we can tweak and adjust for next year. But yeah, overall, it seemed to be quite well received, especially given the weather and the forecast. We didn't know really what to expect.
I was in the office with Megan, and I think one of the very cool things was hearing how far people came. You
I was
know,
surprised.
I feel like it would be a fun addition to put a map in the office anytime we have an event, and have people put a pin from where they're from, or, you know, it's just kind of neat to hear that they were coming from quite far.
I think that'd be cool to have something like that, even
Yeah.
like in front of the courthouse or something,
Yeah.
something that people can kind of mark where they came from, because in my store, they come from
All over.
everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty much almost every state in the US they've been in.
that's neat.
And then they asked me, what else can we do? So we need some type of information out there on the board, what else is here?
It'll just go back to once we can do something with the clock, or maybe one of
Right.
the ticker
Yes,
signs
right.
that Chris brought up at the.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. You mentioned that, and I'm like, it's happening in my head. That's a great idea.
Another thought is that we use a wedding guest book, and we could probably get one for the city of Lapeer, because we have people all over the world who've signed ours.
Yes, that's a
And
great
everyone who
idea.
comes in, we just ask them to do it, just as
Yep.
a thing for us personally, so that when we look back in time, we can see all these people who came back skating and had a great time.
Yeah,
If you got like the city one, you know, feel free to sign our guest book.
A lot of Airbnbs do that.
yes.
You
I
know,
like-
sign
I like
in, you
that
kind of get your
idea.
experience, and I think it's a nice idea.
Yeah, exactly. You get a little bit of feedback that way
Yeah.
too. Later in the agenda, we've got Placer on there, and Placer will tell us where they're coming from.
Yes.
But like the guest book idea makes it more personal. You get that direct engagement. with
Yes. Okay, if nothing else for events, let's move on. Subcommittee business.
I don't think we had anything
Okay.
this month.
Center for the Arts.
The annual pre-K through 12th grade Lapeer Community School Art Show had its opening reception on Saturday. There were over 400 people in attendance, and cookies and lemonade were served. It was a very successful afternoon. It's a fantastic show. If you get a chance, stop in and see it. It's bright, it's colorful. We have some very good little artists And it's just, it's uplifting. We had 60 patrons attending art classes. And the next gallery show up will be Lapeer Photography Club, and that will be March 17th through April 25th. The opening reception will be on March 27th from 5 to 7. And Lapeer has some extremely talented photographers. You want to check that out? The Pix has been busy. We've had 9 shows in the past 3 weeks, and on top of that, a couple rentals. There were 1,442 patrons attending shows. There are currently 20 students enrolled in youth theater classes. I've given everyone a copy of what for us is our second quarter report, which is October through December. We have a new board treasurer, so this report's got a little more detail than needed. So if you focus on the last 3 columns, that gives you basically what you need. So as of December 31st, income was at 56% and expenses were at 58%. Not ideal, but I did have to cancel a show in December, and that was a 2-date show. And I had to do a lot of ticket refunds, almost 300 patrons. So that, we took a ding there. But there were a couple, as a person that's dealing with the numbers on a daily basis, I know more than what's in this report. So I looked ahead because I'm like, what's this? So I can tell you a little advanced, we do hit 100% on the annual giving, because I was like, what? What do you mean 60%? We hit 100. It just, some of them came in January. And there's this weird $14.53. I figured that out. That was a gallery expense that ended up in grants, so that's been fixed. Operations, organizational memberships, and staff development are all over the budgeted amount, but our budget's just a guideline. Operations is due to the new sound system and the insurance repairs. That's why that one's so sky high. Organizational memberships. I was billed the wrong membership with Lapeer Economic Development, so I am getting a refund on that. And staff development was me going to the Max Expo in the fall. If anybody has any questions on that, I'm more than happy to answer them. Our ticketing company sent us a calendar year in review where they went January through December. And I was surprised to learn that the Center for the Arts had 199 ticketed events.
Wow.
In the calendar year of 2025. This doesn't include gallery receptions, rentals such as the View newspaper, Progress Party, or Lapeer County Community Foundation, Giving Tuesday, or any of our free youth offerings. Those are just the ticketed events. There was 199 in the calendar year. So I was surprised, so I thought other people might be surprised. The Center for the Arts always gets great coverage in the View newspapers. But this past month, we were also featured in the February issue of Lapeer Living and the Oxford Chamber. So if you get any of those, they both happen to do stories on us in 1 month.
Awesome. Any questions for me?
199 is awesome. That was a high number.
I was there for all of it too. I'm like,
All right. Any questions for Jill? Okay, moving on then. Staff report.
I don't have a lot this month. Main thing is the sponsorship package for the DDA, which applies to our events, has been updated. That's included in your packet. I can email it out if anybody wants to go out there and start soliciting some sponsorships. That would be fantastic. Or even if you can just make connections. One of our big goals this year also is to increase our sponsorships and what we brought in. We also now have that incorporated onto the See My Legacy platform, which means not only is there a print version, but there is now an online version, and they can do everything through the See My Legacy platform, where they basically go online, they can look at the different sponsorship levels, and they can even make their payment through the website as well to streamline that platform. Other quick updates, been hitting the ground, getting easements signed and talking to property owners regarding the parking lot. Construction that'll start this spring in the downtown area. Most of those have gone pretty well, but there are a few that, have some more questions or a little bit harder conversations, so we're still working on those and trying to get those finalized. Also, a couple quick just reminders. Tomorrow I have my Michigan Main Street training for their winter workshop. That's in Lansing, so I'll be in Lansing tomorrow. And then next Tuesday and Wednesday is the MDA's annual advocacy day in Lansing and their spring workshop in East Lansing. So I'll be at those next week also. That's it. Any questions?
So when you were talking to the downtown businesses, about what's coming, were there any that were interested in potentially investing in fire suppression as a result of this modification?
A lot of them see the benefit to it. I have one business that is, I think, to the point where they're gonna look at getting quotes, but they acknowledge that it's still really more than they want to spend right now. In regards to fire suppression, 240 West Nipissing Street, which is where the bakery is going to go, and the health and wellness business, they did just complete fire suppression for that. They were able to save a little bit of money because with the parking lot and the sidewalk getting redone, they did not have to do a total, new concrete pavement for the sidewalk area, which is good, and now that they can move forward with their next steps and get closer to opening. So again, it's one of those where, again, it's like everybody, they in theory like the idea, it's just that cost factor.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jim?
Actually, I'll add one more thing.
Okay.
So in regards to fire suppression, I started, for a couple times I've asked, like the police department, both locally and other ones that I've interacted with, if they have any idea how many fires have taken place in downtowns across Michigan, like this past year or previous years, and every time it's a great question, but they don't have any way to really track it. Now through AI and through some of the feedback that Chris and others have given me on how to use it, I was able to use AI to go back and look at how many fires took place in downtowns in Michigan in 2025, and then had it go back and look at how many took place since 2020. 44 have taken place in the last 5 years in downtowns across Michigan. That's based on using the MEDC's definition of a downtown area, and that's based off of what could be scraped from newspaper articles, news stories, radio, social media, etc. So now I'm using it to actually go back and look at what's the economic impact of that as well. What's the loss in tax capture from not having a property there? What's the loss in job revenue, job creation? So with that, I'm actually hoping to have that information kind of in place so that when I'm in Lansing next week for Advocacy Day, that's something I can start bringing up to legislators. And maybe they'll look at maybe some kind of incentives to offset some of those costs, because the other issues you're running into are like insurance coverage and, are property owners getting covered for total value of loss, or are they just doing, lost value so they're made whole? And then as codes and changes, more and more fire suppression is becoming more of a requirement. So those are things that have to be addressed at some point and figured out. So I started kind of going down that rabbit hole to try to figure out some answers and some possible solutions also.
Are there grants available or?
No, and that's part of why I wanted to get this
Grants.
information, is so that I can take it to them in the hopes that maybe it opens up either existing grants to cover fire suppression, or creates new programs that could offset some of those costs.
Anything else?
I've been advocating for getting grants for a long time for fire suppression. I just think it just takes a lot more advocacy to make that happen, so.
Yes. It's not a glamorous project, so.
Yeah, not very glamorous.
Anything else? That's okay. New business, assistant director agreement.
I emailed it out.
Yes.
Last night.
It's very well, I think it was really, it covered all the issues. I think it's well written, it's a good agreement, the memo of understanding.
Great.
So the main thing on that, yeah, so the agreement, this would be with the Lapeer Development Corporation. The employee would remain an employee of Lapeer Development Corporation, but would work for us for the agreed 24 hours a week. The main thing that I would like to discuss is originally we had talked about $20 an hour for 24 hours a week. I did have a chance to connect with Carlos yesterday. He has requested, so $20 an hour would come out to about $25,000 a year. He has requested $28,000 a year, which would come down to about $22.45 an hour. So a slight increase. That would make our monthly payment to the LDC $2,333.34. But the reasoning for that is right now he lives in the Port Huron area. He would like to move to Lapeer and be a part of our community. That slight increase in pay would allow him to rent an apartment that will be coming available soon at the Center for the Arts.
He hasn't even seen it yet.
He's very excited about it.
I know.
Yeah. And he knows the good, the bad, and the ugly with it. It's like being in a subwoofer during Lapeer days, but it's also very convenient and it's downtown. So it would allow him to live in the community. It would allow him to become even more of a contributing member to the downtown area. And that if he's living down here, that means he's spending more money down here, shopping, and becoming integrated into the downtown. Talked a little bit just via text with the executive committee. Last night, we were originally going to propose a slight uptick in our Main Street line item budget. But we think we can keep that steady and that would offset that cost difference. And we think having a good, solid assistant director is more of a priority than upping our Main Street spending.
I think him wanting to move into the district is a pretty good testament of his commitment. And like I said via text, I think he'll be present, he'll be an active member of the community.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be even more available for events, and probably even more valuable, he's gonna be more aware of things even we're not. We're not
Yes.
here constantly. He's gonna hear the good, the bad, complaints, the compliments, and I think for the money difference, it makes a lot of sense. Plus, think about how bad, like even this winter's been. He has an hour drive.
Yeah.
He can walk to work.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna see, oh, that flower box is broken. He's just having him close, and the fact that he wants to, I think speaks a lot. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. We just want to be mindful we don't take advantage of that
For sure.
either.
For sure, but I think it'll give him so much perspective for the role too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, we'd be looking for approval. Now, I know I just emailed it out last night, so it's very short notice. I would love to be able to get him to start in March, but that being said, if we need, a little time to kind of review.
I
understand
mean,
that.
it's pretty straightforward. I mean, obviously, he's not our employee. That's all the responsibility, all those taxes and everything, workers' comp, that's all the responsibility of the LEC. This is really just a lump sum payment spread out over 12 months to the LDC. And I think I think in 5 years, we're gonna look back and be so happy that we entered into this agreement with the LDC. I think it's gonna be so, I think it's really gonna be, what's the word, something changing.
Groundbreaking, I
Oh.
think.
No,
Like not, like game changing,
Yeah.
game changing, thank you.
well, and the
So
way it all came together, like everything is just kinda, or we sort of talked to like, okay, what do we need to see in this every year when we're doing it, and it's like, this is too easy.
Yeah, and I think Carlos is the type of person, especially with that partnership with the LDC and his engagement. I think he's gonna challenge me and make me be an even better employee as well.
I've never, like, actually met him in this role. I know who you're talking about because one day I was walking in front of Doghouse and there was some trash. And I picked up, put it in the trash, came inside. And this guy grabs me and goes, hey, that was pretty cool. He goes, I'm Carlos. It's gotta be him. Right? So
I would
like this whole time
imagine
we're
it
talking
is,
about this
yeah.
role and this guy, I'm like, I think this is him. And then I'm pretty sure, but like, I'm gung ho. I think we need this.
We do need this.
You need this.
Yes.
So I'll make a
essentially,
motion.
he's not an employee,
No.
correct? So
He's not our employee.
so we wouldn't have to go through a formal termination process.
Oh,
We
they
could
have,
just
they
say-
do all that, they do all their own disciplining. of
Well,
it.
for us though, we could just say we don't need your services any longer, or anything, there's no
There
big.
would be an in writing notice, 30 days.
Yeah. But there's a provision in there that allows us to provide feedback to the LDC if there's something that we want to change, maybe if there's something we're not happy with, or maybe we think he's doing a great job and we want to talk about, you know, adding more hours. So there is a process within the agreement to be able to do that. So I would make a motion that we approve this agreement with the LDC for $28,000.
I second.
Okay. Catherine, Megan. All right, let's take a vote.
I have a few questions
Okay, go right ahead.
for you, Jim, if you wouldn't mind. So this arrangement with the LDC, Carlos is a full-time employee with them, correct?
He's currently a part-time.
Part-time?
Yes,
Okay, so this allows him to have full-time employment.
yes.
All right, and our payments are, the way that we structure the salary, we're paying the LDC, and then they set it up so that
Correct.
he's under them.
Yeah.
Will he be receiving benefits from the LDC now that he's full-time?
Through LDC, yes.
Okay.
Yep,
Prior to this arrangement, he's not.
right, because he was only part-time. with
Okay,
them.
so this
yeah,
is,
would bring him
this
up
is a
to
big
that.
deal.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
very good thing.
Really cool. Also, what is his role in relation to the LDC in terms of any overlap? Is his role at the LDC similar in nature to what we're doing here or what he will be doing for us?
Sure, there is some similarity to it. The LDC, you know, obviously functions at the county level.
Mhm.
And those are conversations that we had, and with him being part-time with the DDA, part-time with the LDC, it gives him some flexibility to focus on if he's working with a client from LDC that's based out of, say, like Omaha.
Mhm.
But there's the business retention, the business recruitment aspect of it is a big part of what LDC does.
Right.
I honestly think it'll be beneficial
Mhm.
for, not just for Lapeer, but I think all of us. Because there are times when somebody will call Lapeer and they're looking for a certain size space or they need certain things, and we can't accommodate it, we just don't
Right.
have the availability. Having him in that role opens it up with, well, let's put you in touch with Omaha, let's
Mhm.
put you in touch with Emily City, and vice versa
Yeah.
there. So there's a lot of similarity, but the LDC is kind of at the larger
Yeah,
picture.
I think that answers the question quite well. What I was hoping for is that there's enough overlap to where his role at both places is very intertwined,
Yep.
so that he's doing the best for both sides, right? The only concern that I have, and I wonder if you guys have already worked through this in terms of your discussion with the LDC on this arrangement, is where the lines get, because that's so intertwined, where are the lines, how do you define, okay, here's the 24 hours that he's doing here versus whatever commitment he has over there, and how do you guys manage that? What does it look like in terms of if he's putting too much, something gets out of balance, how are you guys going to address that so that there isn't this tension buildup?
Yep.
To where we have some sort of falling out either with the relationship with the organization or with the relationship with the individual. I just want to make sure that there has been some discussion about that so that we're not reacting to something potential in the future, but that we're actually being proactive about it and ensuring that the entire relationship through and through is synergistic.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. So yeah, we have talked about that. And we acknowledge that our process might change as we kind of learn and see how things are working out. But what we've talked about is basically starting each week with a joint conversation with
Mhm.
myself, Carlos, and then also Sam from the LDC, so that we can lay out the priorities that each organization is working on. but also with the understanding of the 24 hours that he's committing each week to the DDA is still focused on the DDA. And same thing, the hours that he's committed to the LDC, the focus is the LDC. But having that opening conversation each week kind of lays out what the focus area is, so that none of us are caught off guard.
Right, right.
And again, we acknowledge that we might have to learn and adapt as we move forward, but that's the plan right now that we're talking about.
And have a little flexibility for where
Yes.
some of those responsibilities overlap, but
Yes.
still align for both places.
Correct.
Okay, very good. And Carlos is comfortable with all of that in terms of what you guys discussed, and
Yeah, we've met a couple times, including last time, yesterday afternoon, just to kind of review the contract between us to make sure he was comfortable with everything in it,
Okay.
and vice versa.
and does he feel like he's being safeguarded from any potential
Yes.
tensions between the two entities as well?
Yes.
That he doesn't feel like he could potentially be taken advantage of one way or the other,
No,
especially
that's-
with overlapping responsibilities?
Yeah, and that's something I think that I've been more worried about, I think, than he has been, because I want to make sure that, yeah, we don't take advantage of him or put too much of a workload on it, because right now, he's doing, it's about 25 hours a week through the LDC. With us, it'll be 24 hours a week, so he will actually be working more than 40 hours, so we want to make sure that we're also not burning him out and getting him taken advantage of. And yeah, he was very comfortable with the arrangement. He's appreciated just the open dialogue we've been able to have, even just through this process.
Very good.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
What is his professional background? I mean, what's his skill set that brings
So,
him to?
prior to being with the LDC, he's been working with nonprofits, helping them streamline their process, nonprofit management, board setup, things like that.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Say
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Do you also need us to make a motion to approve the legal, or the job description for his position? Just so we have that, something that is in place that, because you have that attached.
It is attached in the
Are you
package.
still working on that?
We've never done a motion to approve it in the past for previous employers. That being said, might not be.
This is an
a bad
assistant
idea.
director position, so I think
It is a little bit different,
it's
so,
different.
Yeah.
And especially since it's gonna be a contract with the LDC, I think it'll be important if we have something that we've approved in place. So I mean, if it's not ready, then I'm not trying to move forward, I'm just saying that if it is something that it's
we've
ready,
looked through
then.
it, LDC has looked through it, Carlos has looked through it, he's good with it, I'm good with it. So, I mean, unless there are changes that you would like to see, then I would say it's ready.
Well, I would make the motion to approve the assistant director job description.
I support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Old business. Websites.
So in your packets, you'll see the proposal from Civic Clarity for our website. I think they put together a pretty detailed, good proposal for us. I hope you had some time to kind of look through it. Also take a look at even like some of the websites that they've done for other communities in the area. They've worked with several just even within like Pierre County and the surrounding area, because they are a relatively local company, which I like about them. And so with this agreement, they would do the new website for us. They would make sure that it's following all federal guidelines and also all state guidelines. It would be ready to go. They would offer full training, the 1 year investment, the initial cost to get the website up, running, launch, and then the management for the first year would be the $21.61. That's on page 22 of the agreement, down at the bottom. And then moving forward, it would be the $561 a year for management. And that gives us 2 editors for the site, which initially would be probably myself and the DDA assistant. for that. And talking even just with Julie, like the updating things like our minutes, our agendas, those are things that we can do in-house, but they streamline it, and it's just basically like a drag and drop. And I think you saw like there's basically like a file section, which makes everything nice and accessible, so that it's easier to find. Because I know that's one of the issues with our current website, is that it can be confusing. And the layout, because it's a basic one that we have, it's free. It's essentially just like this long ongoing list that you have to scroll through and try to find anything. This incorporates a search system for it, which makes it nice. So I think it's a pretty nice package. So what I'd be looking for today would be a motion to approve moving forward with the website and include that cost in our budget for this year.
I can't remember if you, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you talk to any of, like, the Elmont DDA, obviously is a reference on here.
Yeah.
Did you talk to any other communities just to get feedback as to what, do they like what they've gotten as a service from them?
I've talked with both Elmont and not the new director in Emily City, but the previous director, Christine from Emily City. She's up in Marlette now. Both have loved the platform. Christine is actually working with them to put Marlette's city website through them as well and incorporate them on their package. And then they're a regular attendee at the MDA conferences as a sponsor. And I've talked to a few other communities at those conferences that have used them, and it's all been good experience, positive engagement.
I'm on the Elmont website right now, and even the mobile one is so easy. The navigation's great, you can go to the meetings, upcoming events. I think if we're, especially with the emphasis being pushing fundraising this year, if we have a good website that shows what we're doing, we need this.
And that's an important note, like with the fundraising and the sponsorships. So obviously, See My Legacy is the hub for fundraising, for online maps, for volunteer sign up, but we're able to integrate those two. So, the public's gonna be thinking they're clicking back and forth between one. It'll feel more integrated.
I did take some time to look at various websites that were listed in here, and I felt like they were fast loading, they were easy to use. I really like the feature of having available business locations listed, so that if you were looking to buy a property or if you were looking to lease a property, it was an easy way to find something. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to search for commercial real estate, sometimes it is very difficult to find something. So I really like that.
Yeah, at a recent meeting of Village Metamola, they had that discussion, and because of that listing, property was actually sold. New
Nice.
business coming into Metamola
Yeah.
because of that.
I had two questions. One, and I haven't gone on these other websites with my phone or anything, but how is the mobile app set up for these guys? Does it work pretty well, or is it?
I'm on it right now, or was.
Yeah, I'm on it right now. It's great. Very, very user friendly. And then I like all the drop downs here. I can do events, I can do a business directory, what's going on in the community, about the DDA, doing business downtown. They've got great subsections that aren't overwhelming.
And they actually fit on your phone, right?
Very nice,
Yeah.
great graphics.
Good.
Sized
point.
accordingly.
Very great graphics.
Yeah. And what you can do, so you can create, or we can send out, or let's say encourage the public to create what's called like a shortcut on their phone, where it'll be a little icon. It looks like an app, but it's actually just a shortcut that takes them to the website.
My other comment, they don't really do much as far as talking about SEO. It's just kind of a, if you're interested, you can fill out a form or something. I don't quite understand what they're saying here. You know, in my world, that's about the main thing that we look for. So I guess I'm just wondering if is that important to us? And if it is, there's certainly not much of a description of what they would do if it is important to us.
Are they more like a website provider though?
Right.
Or if we wanted more SEO, wouldn't we utilize more like a marketing company?
They,
At that price?
Yeah, so they do not do any type of search site optimization. I think just having a more efficient website in and of itself helps with that significantly. They do offer that as an additional service if we wanted to explore that, but we have not included that in this particular package.
Did you have
Was
some-
that important to us, the SEO? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure if it is or not.
It's hard to say. I don't have a good answer for you
Okay.
on that, so.
Did you have something you wanted to add to that? You seemed
No,
like
I
you
was
made-
just gonna answer his question. It's on the last page of the proposal. It explicitly states that it's not included.
Right.
And I'm sure that if it was important to us, that we could procure an
Yeah.
estimate on that. I think, just for what it's worth, we probably can do well without it. Being that Lapeer is, we're not competing with another city of Lapeer anywhere. Search engines, especially with the evolution of AI, are becoming more optimal in terms of picking up things and categorizing them for the end user when they're doing specific searches. Somebody looking for something going down in downtown Lapeer already know that they're targeting downtown Lapeer. They're gonna type that chocolate walk Lapeer, Michigan, chocolate walks in Michigan, whatever, and we're gonna come up pretty nicely, just generically. But if it ever becomes a thing in the future, I think we could grab an estimate from them.
Yeah, it can always be added on.
Yeah, based on these estimates, it's never something that, you should have done that in the beginning. It's something that you can jump on later on pretty easily.
Did that answer your question?
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious if it's important, and I agree that it might be, but we don't know that right now.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? We've already penciled this in to the budget as a potential expense, correct?
Yes, yep, just whether or not we want to keep it in there, so.
And do we have a motion to keep this in the budget and to pursue starting this service?
My motion.
Okay.
Second.
Are we actually approving the contract, or what is the motion?
To keep it in the budget, is that what the best one would be at
If we're
this point?
budgeting for it, it would be to move forward
To move
with the
forward.
contract effective July 1st. Yeah,
Okay.
so part of our new budget year.
I think our last motion was just to continue looking into it, so.
Okay. So do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the contract with this company for the prices that are in there summary.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Placer AI.
Placer AI, most of you are familiar with what it can do at this point. Last month, you did approve kind of getting more information and getting a proposal from Placer, so that is included in your packet as well. Cost-wise, yeah, they're more of a sales pitch company. I mean, the service they offer, they're it. Nobody else does this kind of visitor data. There's actually interesting, I came across a company called Radius that listed, they were designed for entertainment-based venues. And they listed things they can do, like, we can tell you where people are coming from, we can tell you what time of day they're coming, we can tell you how many are coming, all things that Placer does. So I'm like, great, maybe this is an alternative, finally. And so I set up a demonstration call with them, and right from the get-go, they said, well, we've never done a whole community, we've always just done single venues, but they were open to it. I'm like, well, great, that's promising, and they said, well, what are you looking for? And I was honest with them, I'm like, I'm looking for an alternative to Placer AI, because it's not cheap. And they're like, oh, well, we use Placer AI. So they're getting the information they provide through Placer. So again, it's still the only option if you want that visitor information. So this package, if we start July 1st, we'd be looking at a 12-month plan. $10,000 is the cost, but LDC is willing to cover half of that price. Now, if we want to move forward with that, I would say we continue talking and get everything in place in writing from LDC before we commit to it. But that would give us 2 users. It would give us access to the state of Michigan, unlimited kind of searches, parameters. You know, I think the strong points is it's great for evaluation, which we've seen what it can do in that sense. We know where people are coming from. We would know the time of day that they're coming as well. We would know how long they're spending. And the nice thing with the total package is you can streamline it down. So you could look at one individual property area if we want, which could be beneficial. We have a few businesses that are downtown that are in the process of selling or transitioning. This could be beneficial to help them with that sales data. We can give, this is how much is coming through, these are how many people are coming through the area. For business recruitment as well, same thing, being able to show that foot traffic not only for the whole downtown, but specific sites in the area as well. We did talk a little bit at the committee level that it could also be an opportunity, and I don't think it would cover the cost, but it could be something that we could tie into sponsorship packages as well, or also offer, if we have like a real estate company that's got a listing and they need the information, we can provide it for you, but there would be a cost to that. I don't know what that would be yet. Those are things we would have to figure out, but that could be a potential benefit too, to offset some of that cost. So that's where it's at right now. So I guess what we'd be looking for today is, do you want us to include this in the budget for next year and move forward with conversations with the LDC to confirm that they would contribute half and then we would contribute the other half?
I have
Or
a
any other questions?
question. If I could ask a
Yes,
question.
go ahead.
So you said this would not to begin until July, so that would be in the next contract, or the
Yes.
next budget cycle.
Right.
So 5,000, I mean, that's a little bit of a chunk of change. Do you think that we can build that 5,000 in based upon the expected revenue coming in the next budget? I guess I'm just wondering about the cost.
Yeah, right now, based on the numbers we have, we would be able to budget it in.
Okay.
You know, we still have to, once everything is kind of finalized and in place, that's the other reason I don't want to do a motion, I guess, to agree, because
Right.
we have to see how the actual budget pans out as well.
Right.
But right now, based on what we have, it looks like we would be able to make it work.
And Jim, I mean, we've discussed this for at least a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And it'd be sure would be nice if we could find another party that would pony up a third of this to cut our costs, but so far we haven't come up with anybody. The realtors apparently aren't interested.
Never really talked to any of the realtors, per se, so, you know, right now, I know the city has their own budget that they're working on. It's not something that they're necessarily looking at this time. If we decide we wanted to extend it into a contract next year, or one of the things we talked about is, do we need to do it every year? We could do it this year, and then maybe we revisit it again in 3 years or 2 years. You know, maybe we have enough at that point to demonstrate the potential. But yeah, right now, it just seems to be the LDC and us would be the one utilizing it.
Well, I'm just kind of throwing that out for everybody. If anybody's got an idea, we've kind of run out of ideas, so.
Mr. Hain?
Thank you. So the question I have regarding this first is the motion to pursue putting this in the upcoming budget. That's it. It's not to pursue a contract with them, but just to direct you to start working on a way to get it into the budget. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll make it there,
Correct.
but the direction is being given today.
Right, because once we
All right.
start finalizing our budget numbers, we might realize, you know what, it's not gonna work financially.
Okay, and then to piggyback on the questions regarding shared cost or shared expense here, has there been any discussion or pursuit of offering a certain level of these types of reports and forecasts to local business owners, more than just real estate, but at some type of premium, let's say $5 a month, whatever, we can offer this, or one-time fee someone's having a particular blowout sale or something like that, and they want to approach the DDA to see if they can get some real-time stats on.
I think that's
The six.
definitely worth exploring, because our contract is based off of population, it's based off of the population of the city.
Mhm.
So we would be able to use it to look at areas within the city, so I think that's definitely worth exploring. Maybe it's one cost if you are a business within the DDA district, if the DDA has the license, and then it's a separate cost if you are like within the city.
Mhm.
But I do think that's a good suggestion, I think that would be worth exploring and discussing.
All right, so the service wouldn't just impact the downtown district, it's the entire city, is
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's
So
based
is there
off of
benefit to the city itself?
I think there would be.
Have you approached anybody in the city to discuss whether or not there could be some potential shared expense there?
We have had some conversations with Mike and Kelly looking at it as far as like the budget goes,
Mhm.
which is why I know there are some budget, restraints on both sides.
Mhm.
So right now, the interest seems to be just the DDA and the LDC. That being said, I would be happy to put together a proposal to bring to the full commission.
All right, very good. I think it's sufficient just that you're working on these types of things. I would like to put forward a motion to direct you to continue to work on this and see if it makes it into the next budget.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay. Then all in favor of moving to pursue this and put it in the next budget, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. Where are we now? Okay, board member comments. So this is where we usually start with who we have supported in the downtown area. And it is 9:05, so I'd say we keep them quick, so that people can get to work. Tammy, do you want to start?
Craig, of course, and, Doghouse, Rogers.
I'm Glenn, Doghouse, Rogers, the bank, Tammy's Place, and probably the others, I can't think of them right now.
Awesome. Jim, do you want to say anything?
I've been to a lot of places as far as business support, and I think we've got some pretty amazing things going on downtown. I think my main thing actually that I wanted to bring up, obviously we did the new seating arrangement today, and we can discuss this even after the comment section if we want, but I just kind of wanted, how does this feel? Like the idea was we wanted to kind of create more like a roundtable type conversation and kind of bring us all together for more engagement. So we worked on it yesterday. So if everybody likes this, we can keep going with this format. The only thing I would change if I could would be to put us at the same heights.
Yes.
But I don't really know how to do that.
Yep. Thoughts?
I like it.
I do too.
Did you run out of tables?
What's that?
Did you run out of tables?
Yeah, these are all the tables that are in here. The others are being
Used.
utilized. Yeah, it would also be a lot to carry back and forth for one meeting.
Okay. I've gone to all my normal businesses downtown, but I got I did stop by the flower shop and the flower basket, I should say, and got a bouquet for somebody for Valentine's Day. It was a really pretty little one. Mr. Haig?
Yes, thank you. Let's think about all the different places that you go in a month, and I like to try to whittle it down to one that I hadn't mentioned before, but sometimes you find yourself in a habit at times, and you frequent some businesses more than others and more frequently. So this month, I'll just point out a couple, and again, it just seems redundant because I go to them frequently, but in my family as well. So just thinking about the things that my kids do and my wife as well. And I'm going to highlight three, and that would be the Doghouse, Wood Chips, and Acadia. My kids like it there, and I think it'd be a really great place to see, frequented by others as well, and who doesn't like coffee? As you know, I don't think there's going to be a month where that one doesn't always come up. So I try to think of others that we've done as a family. But in terms of other comments, I was just want to reiterate for residents, especially those who are watching from back home, the things that we discuss here. Oftentimes we mention as we're discussing things or voting on things that we're open to suggestions. I had mentioned it last month that there were some constituents that were asking about how to get in touch with specific members of the executive board of the DDA, or even yourself, Jim. And I was just wondering if we've had any traction on publicizing that information, or at least maybe a catch-all email that distributes to other people on the.
Admittedly, not yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I was actually, when Carlos and I were talking yesterday, the catch-all email was something that we brought up again.
Okay.
Where in the past, it's always been like either like a James at Lapeer DDA, or like whoever the assistant was. But having one that is just a generic one that we can utilize as an all-encompassing one is, I think, something that we're going to work on, so that we have that, because I think it is a good suggestion.
Very good. I was reminded of it because one of us made a comment even this morning that we're open to suggestions on something. I can't remember what it was now, but we need to be able to provide a channel for people to provide those suggestions.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it. Thank you.
That could be a spot on our new website too.
Yes, it
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
Megan?
Where did I frequent? Everywhere. We're here every day, but with this cold weather, we've been stuck in the house, so, this month, we went to Blend. Last week, we went to Blend. My 8-year-old likes to go to the courthouse and eat the ice cream there, no matter the temperature. We went and saw Tammy. I went to Faye and Whimsy. I've been to Wood Chips a couple times a week. Went to Tilted once. We go to Rogers. We went to Excadia, tore the place up. It was good for the 7-year-old and the 1-year-old because it was clean and open, and he did a full tour of the place. I went to Back Road Beauty, the salon in Grace Apparel. It was I had surgery last month, and so it was hard for me to like lift my arms. They went washed my hair, blow dried it. I walked in randomly because I was like, hey, I want to see this space. It's beautiful. So it was nice to get to know them.
They're great neighbors.
I bet, yeah.
They have
Very,
such a
very
bright,
nice.
appealing place.
It is.
Yeah, well, and I popped in one day because I was walking by and I sort of watched her like slowly redo the inside. And so I don't know if she knows who I am, but every time I'm like, hey, it looks so cool.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and I see the sign got put up, so I think that'll be huge for them.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was really, really cool.
Awesome.
I'm sure there's more, but.
Yes, Ms. Klissman.
Thank you. Last year, we had a meeting with a lot of you who are in the room, and it was stated at that time that it would be a good idea that we had more meetings so that we could interact and know what everybody's doing. So that's more or less why I wanted to be on DDA, so I could see what other groups and people are doing in their other projects and have a better grasp of what's going on in the city. So thus saying that, I've been to Wood Chips a couple times this month. I went to Never Ending Story. I went to Rogers Pharmacy. And by the way, I'm going to have to find some kids so I can go buy some of their toys in there. You have a couple, okay. I went to Cherries a couple times, and I went to Blended. I want to talk and I'll talk fast. I want to talk a few minutes about the America 250 committee. We are meeting again on March the 9th, 3:30 at the rec building, lower level. We had a phenomenal meeting this past Monday, and Jill was there, and Jill has a lot of things cooking for the celebration this summer. And I'm not going to steal her thunder because she's going to tell you all about it in the future. However, I do want to say this. Jill needs funding to pull off the wonderful things that she has on her mind. So if you know of anyone, a business that would like to help sponsor Jill, I would suggest that you get with her, because we only get America 250 once, and we want it to be spectacular, and we want to bring the people downtown and enjoy themselves and fall in love with patriotism in their city. So if you can sponsor her or know someone that can sponsor her, please do that. She's such a hard worker, and she doesn't always tell you what she needs, and she tries to work it out herself. So please give Jill some help here. I have for you a summary of what happened on Saturday with the Daughters of the American Revolution and the scavenger hunt for children. That was an awesome event, and by the way, the ladies who came, they were all dressed in period costumes, and then they went to different stores also, and they were purchasing some items, and I know they came back to Cherry's where Rick, George Washington, and I were, and they showed us some of the things that they bought, so I thought that was a plus beyond what happened. There is on the board now, or on the books, a gala will be planned at the courthouse. That will be coming together with the people who are on the historic, I think it's called Foundation, is that right, Jim?
It's the Friends of the Historic Courthouse.
So they will be putting together a gala this summer, and
Gallo. I was like, gallo.
no gala.
I was waiting to see where we were going with this.
How about this?
Yeah,
A big
just
fat party.
Okay.
A big fat party. So, and I'm sure that the ladies who are in that organization will have it be absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Let's see. Our next meeting, March 9th. I wrote too small and I didn't bring glasses. Mike Womack and I are in process of working out details to put in the flagpoles for, and he's back there smiling, flagpoles in the city, both on the east side and the west side of town. And here's the other thing, I hear about these wonderful planter boxes. I hope they're going to be big enough that we can plant small lilac bushes. We have some that are called Miss Kim that only go about 2.5 feet. And I would love to see lilacs planted everywhere. I have already purchased, and they're sitting in my garage, the lilacs named after Americana things, such as there's one Yankee Doodle, there's Betsy Ross, and there's President Lincoln, and I'm trying to get this. There's hundreds of them named after founding fathers, but they're hard to locate because they are heritage bushes. And I'll shut up.
Mr. Hogan?
Got a couple new tires at the Goodyear store,
Hey.
paint, Sherwin-Williams. But my new coolest place downtown is the Whistle Stop Toy Museum.
Oh, yeah, that is
I'm a
neat.
model trained nerd,
Aw.
and that is so fun in there. I mean, I've gone there just like random, they're only one on Saturday. But speaking of guest book, I mean, there's a guest book, and there's people that travel far distances to come, you know, and it's great to see like some old train guys, you know, rebel guys with their grandkid, and yeah, that was the kind of train you know, it's just so cool, that
That is
human
neat.
story and connection, and
There's a lot in
it's
there.
you can spend,
Yeah.
if you're into it, and you can spend an hour in there easily. I mean, there's maps of train tracks, and you know, and you really see the impact of railroading to Michigan, you know, before the highways, and this county alone, I mean, we had railroads crisscrossing everywhere, and you know, back in the day, before '69 and our highways. Anyway, that's, if you haven't been there, I check it out.
I
It's
would
cool.
recommend that as well.
That's all.
Mr. Sharkey?
Well, I'm gonna take your advice and go. I
Yeah.
haven't been there yet, I would like to. Unfortunately, I'm working out of the county mostly right now,
Oh.
everything in Oakland County, but that said, I have to visit the bank because of that. And then Sherwin-Williams, and I like the sandwich shop, and I love the Thai place.
Awesome. Mr.
I,
Rogers?
first time bought a bunch of gift cards. It's from Doghouse.
Awesome. Wonderful. And Mr. Herr?
I go to tons of places. I go to Rogers every week. I go to all the restaurants. I go to the both automotive shops. I need like springs or miscellaneous things. Go to Sherwin-Williams all the time, the bank, tons of places.
Awesome. All right. Buddy is not here, so who would like to move to adjourn?
I move.
Tammy, thank you.
I'm gonna be late for the store.
Yeah, we always get to work.
Second.
Jeff, this is a summary that
So we're
I
on
wrote
for
for
Tuesday, right?
the
Tuesday?
scale